I think the best way to describe it is it's effectively taking planet Earth and filming it 66 million years ago. Obviously, you can't do that, so we use all the latest in scientific understanding of what life was like all those years ago, and using visual effects and animation techniques, so it's, you know, as naturally shot as possible.
It's not entertainment per se, it's entertainment meets science and meets kind of natural history in a really fantastic, original way.
Dinosaur has always been portrayed in popular culture as these terrifying creatures, these mindless beasts. While they were pretty scary, there was so much more to them. We want to show that these creatures were real and incredibly interesting.
Each episode has its own little mini sequence, mini beat within it. You know, every time you watch a new episode, there's something completely new.
The challenges of the show were immense. So many hours of full CG creatures required a very large team.
Almost 900 artists over 2.5 years. So it kind of shows there's a real labor of craft that goes into something like this.
Working with the BBC Natural History Unit has been an absolute dream come true.
They've just got decades of experience shooting this kind of TV show.
It's been so much fun going out to Namibia and other parts of England filming with these guys, albeit blank slates for us to put dinosaur in.
We did use stand-ins so the cinematographers could see how large the dinosaurs were, and in some cases they're just too big to fit in frame, so we would use boom poles and sometimes even fly drones. Some of these dinosaurs are like 4 stories tall, so they're very hard to imagine when you're on set. We have to capture lighting reference, HDRIs, LiDAR scanning, balls, charts, everything we need to make the dinosaurs look real in the plates. Only now we're doing it on a boat or underwater or on a remote beach somewhere or up a mountain. So you have to think very carefully about what equipment you're going to bring and who you're going to bring to do it.
It was really great for MPC and for the BBC Natural History Unit to collaborate, having previously worked on The Lion King with Jon Favreau. We did study a lot of that documentary filmmaking style. A lot of the Planet Earth productions we would actually reference, whereas this time around we're actually able to access that very team, and so they brought their expertise.
It was really important that we started to really understand how they approached location shooting and shooting plates.
There are so many rules in wildlife documentaries that we don't have to worry about in Hollywood. For instance, if you're filming a carnivorous tyrannosaur, you are going to use a 2000mm lens and you're going to stay as far away from it as you possibly can because you don't want this thing to eat you. If you are filming a tiny little Mononychus, it's going to be very skittish. You know, it's going to run away on the first sight, so you're going to lay all these camera traps everywhere. Whereas if you're dealing with a giant herbivore like a Pachyrhinosaur or Triceratops, you know, unless you go running around acting a fool, you're probably going to be able to get right in there with a wide-angle lens right next to the creature.
They came at it bringing that experience to the table, and it allowed us to kind of inhabit their world in a way that kind of constrained us slightly, but in a really positive way. It ends up bedding the visual effects in a more naturalistic way, and it makes them much more plausible and believable to the viewer.
There's been so many discoveries for me. I wouldn't consider myself a dinosaur fanatic in any way. I'd say my daughter certainly is, knows probably more about them than I do. There's elements that are familiar and also elements that people, you know, might be surprised, you know, in terms of how these creatures are portrayed. Those are all going to be really interesting topics of conversation.
It took the combined talents of the BBC Natural History Unit and NBC to create something very special, very unique. I think that in itself was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I hope this really means something for audiences all across the world, and, you know, people of all ages really. I think will get something out of this.